Well, hey folks, it's Real Honesty with Jarmitlin. I'm Jarmitlin, and this is a 15-year reflection, a retro Smackdown review of the July 4th, 2002 episode. It was episode 150 of Smackdown, actually, as I just recently watched this. I'm recording this on July 4th, by the way, hence why you may hear a massive amount of fireworks. And again, I live on Indian reservation land, so you're always going to hear that. And plenty of cool people out here. There's just a lot more, there's just a lot, less rules. I mean, you can launch fireworks a lot and you can just have fun. So anyway, if this doesn't go up until later in the week, don't wonder. I mean, I'm not going to timestamp it like say record on July 4th. That's just why I say it in the beginning. But the July 4th, 2002 edition of SmackDown, which I just watched, man, Raw and SmackDown used to mean a whole lot. I mean, back when the brand split meant something, but not just that. SmackDown especially meant so much for a few years with how great the brand split was. 2002, 2003, but 2002 in particular, SmackDown was on fire. I mean, man, it was just insane. It was great stuff. It was wonderful. And, I mean, not everything hit, obviously, but there was a lot of really good stuff with it. Heyman writing it did help that. But, basically, I'm just going to do a little review here. And I might just skip over some stuff, like just say, oh, this happened, and then whatever. But there was some really good stuff, including a pretty good main event and a pretty cool title change. So let's get right to it. Recaps of Edge, Jericho, and Hogan and how they've all been feuding. Edge had been out with a shoulder injury for a little bit and had come back. It was in a steel cage match he had with Kurt Angle where he injured his shoulder. He was out for only a few weeks and had been feuding with Chris Jericho. And Jericho had feuded with Hogan a bit. And Angle had actually made Hogan tap out at King of the Ring, which was really, really nice because Hogan should have jobbed more often, later in his career especially, but it was good. And then you had, and this is a controversial thing they start out with. Lillian Garcia sings America the Beautiful. That wasn't the controversial part. Lillian Garcia, beautiful, can sing great. My God, she's got such a great voice. I've heard her sing live a few times when she did that at some Raw events, and just great. I mean, I think she was at Over the Limit 2011 also. I'm not really sure about that, but I remember the few Raws that I was at that she was still at. Powerful voice, fantastic. Wish her the best in her career. It's like, I mean, because it's sad she's not with WWE anymore, but I know why she's not. Unfortunately, her father passed away. But anyway, as she's singing America the Beautiful, you hear a voice saying, I've had enough of this America the Beautiful crap. And it's the Un-Americans. Lance Storm, Christian, and Test. Whew. Ooh, I mean, I liked it. I can see why people didn't, but I liked it. They interrupt Lillian Garcia. They run down America on July 4th of all days. And it was just really, really crazy. I mean, then again, I think SmackDown was actually taped, so I think this might have happened July 2nd. But still, it was fine. It was great anyway. It didn't matter. It was just wonderful. It was so, so wonderful. And I mean, the Un-Americans, that was a stable that should have gone on longer. It's sad it didn't, but this was really good, and it was really good heat for them. I liked it. And then it led to a match that they were going to have on the show anyway. It was Rikishi versus Lance Storm, and it was quick. Rikishi got in some offense, but Christian and Test interfered. Lance Storm managed to get the win, 1, 2, 3, and of course that was going to happen. The Un-Americans had just started, like, recently, so of course that was going to happen. And then you have recaps of Cena's debut, where he took Kurt Angle to the limit in about a 6-minute match, and it was really fun. And then they had Rock moments that were hyping up the return of The Rock. I mean, even though he had been on commentary King of the Ring, King of the Ring 2002, during Triple H and Undertaker, it was good. And it was good stuff. It was nice to have some reflection of The Rock doing some really good stuff, especially from, the good part of his career. No offense against the stuff he did with Cena, but the best part of his career was from 96, but 97 to 2002. He had a couple moments in 2003. But he was on fire at that point. And then you have Reverend Devon and Batista. Not Deacon Batista at this point, but he's Batista. Versus Randy Orton and the Big Val Boski, a.k.a. Val Venus. But they weren't calling him Val Venus, they were calling him the Big Val Boski. And it was okay. It was really quick. I mean, Devon and Batista pretty much dominated the whole thing. It was a really quick tag match, and Orton took the fall because Batista used a spine buster as his finisher at this time, not the Batista bomb. But it was still fine. And I mean, the Reverend Devon character, it's kind of sad it almost didn't work out because Devon at least had fun with it, or seemed to have fun with it. I'm glad it didn't work out because the Dudleys are better together than they are apart if they're in WWE. I mean, in Impact they were fine. Bully Ray did great. But it was a fine little tag match. And then, of course, John Cena is, brought in by Stacy Keibler to go into Vince McMahon's office, who was running SmackDown at the time, actually running both shows. And Jericho's talking to Vince, and Vince introduces Cena to Jericho. Oh, what kind of ruthless aggression do you have, Junior? And Jericho gets slapped by Cena, so that leads to a match a little bit later. But first, you have Edge teaming with his lifelong idol, Hulk Hogan, versus Billy and Chuck for the tag titles. It was good. It was fun. First, I mean, it's like, you say all the stuff about Hulk Hogan you want, and I have. But it was great that him and Edge teamed up. Now, Hogan at this point, even in 2002, was largely immobile. It's like after WrestleMania 18, I was tweeting with Unforgiven Rowan about it, but he mentioned that it's amazing how Hogan went down so quickly, like, match quality wise after the thing with Rock. Well, you could summon up the great energy for WrestleMania. I mean, you have to, but Hogan may have not cared. He might have not cared because he didn't like being jobbed out to, people. Even though Hogan at that point, even though he was Hulk Hogan, there were a lot of really good talents there, and Hogan didn't have it anymore. He had the charisma, he did not have the ability. Still, Edge and Hogan did a really good job here. Billy and Chuck bumped like crazy, and Edge hits a leg drop, Hogan hits a leg drop, Edge covers 1, 2, 3. And it was a nice little moment for Edge and his childhood hero, Hogan, to hold the tag titles. They only held him until Vengeance, then lost him to the Un-Americans. I believe it was Lance Storm and Christian. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was Lance Storm and Christian. But it was really, really good. It was really fun. It was really fun stuff. It was nice, good energy, good to hear real American. And it was interesting. It was really fun stuff. And then you had Jericho versus Cena. They would actually end up facing off later at Vengeance 2002. A lot of my recent retro Raw review and this retro SmackDown review tie into Vengeance 2002 because it had a solid base of really good matches, especially that main event. Rock, Taker, and Angle. Whew. Jericho and Cena had a fun little match here. Cena had a good showing. I mean, he was still just starting out on the main roster. He'd been on the independents a little bit, been in OVW for a bit. And it was good. It was good for what it was. I mean, Jericho won, but had to win by using the ropes. So he told a little bit of the story of Jericho, maybe taking Cena a little too lightly, but it was still fun. Then you had a Rey Mysterio vignette. They really hyped up his return, or his debut in WWE. It was really good. I was excited. And then Rey suffered a knee injury soon after, I think by September 2000. No, not September. I think right after Survivor Series 2002. Then he needed to have knee surgery, so he was out for a little bit. A-Train had taken him out. And then he returned at the Rumble, or he returned either just at the Rumble or just before the Rumble. But still, the vignettes got me hyped. And Rey had a pretty good, few years in WWE, except he kept getting injured. Then you had Noble and Nydia because stereotypes of Southern white trash are funny. Looking back on this gimmick was shit, but they made the most of it. I mean, good for them, and it was good that they got on TV. Wonder what Nydia's doing now. I don't know that. I know Noble's an agent. It's a shame. I thought Nydia was a pretty good worker. Tori versus Stacy in a bra and panties match. Because patriotism. I mean, Tori strips down Stacy at one point. And then wins the match. And then Tori strips down anyway. And it's funny that her panties were as long as her short. Or, basically covered up as much as her shorts did. But whatever. I mean, it was you're watching two blondes, bottle blondes, wrestle. It was what it was. And then Taker versus Kurt Angle, undisputed title match. This was hyped up like Taker had just come off that great ladder match he had with Jeff Hardy, which you can check out my thoughts about that on my Retro Raw review, G-Plug. And here he's facing Kurt Angle. Angle had made, put the ankle lock on Taker a bit before, like the week before. And my problem is I remembered this match being a lot longer than it was, and I think that might be because I melded it in with a few other matches that they had a little bit later. But this was good for what it was. The problem is it really was only about 10, maybe 11 minutes of action. And it should have been a little longer than that. Still, it was good for what it was. And you had the controversial finish of Angle, having the triangle choke and stuff like that, and Angle's shoulders being down. So 1, 2, 3, and right as the 3 happens, Taker taps out. Right as it's like 1, 2, 3, and that kind of stuff. They timed it well, about as well as they could. And there was a dispute, but since it was a draw, Taker kept the championship. And again, that would lead to the Great Vengeance main event, the triple threat with The Rock, Angle, and Taker, which was wonderful. I mean, check out my review of it, but check out that pay-per-view. Vengeance, I mean, not today, obviously, or not, within the next few days, but just check it out. Check it out. Let's get Twitter to watch, a bunch of wrestling fans. Let's get us all to watch the July, on July 21st, 2002, the 2002 edition of Vengeance. Let's all watch it on July 1st, or July 21st of this month. I mean, why not? Anyway, that's what I gotta say. So do you agree? Do you disagree with what I've said? Like, share, comment, subscribe. My Twitter link is in the description. It's been Real Honesty with Jarmuth Lynn. I'm Jarmuth Lynn. I will see you soon.